Now, tell me, you mentioned about SDLC. So,
Yes,
if
sir.
you would develop a software for a client, what would you start with?
So the very first process we follow in a client-based company is the client approaches the company to get the service, and then the first process is feasibility study. Like what the client wants to develop, is it even feasible financially? Uh, will we be able to build it? So first thing is feasibility study. Then second one is requirement gathering, like what requirements the clients have and what he wants to develop. And then according to the requirement, if we understood the requirement properly, then we will move towards the implementation phase. First we'll design the software, we'll do the software design, then implementation, and then all those development stuff, and then maintenance, testing, deployment,
Okay.
according to
So,
the
what,
methodology we follow.
right. So, what kinds of customer requirements would you gather? What are the different types of requirements that you need to be aware of while talking about customer requirements?
Sir, in my knowledge, I guess there are three types of customer requirements: functional, business, and system. Those
Right.
three requirements, like functional, what functionality the customer wants from the software. Business requirement is what is the target audience, who are the people they that will use the software. And third one is business sorry system, like on what kind of operating system the code will work, what kind of software he or she needs. Is it a Linux based software, or it should be platform independent? Is it an app, website, or hybrid or native? That kind of stuff.
So, tell me, what is the difference between a business requirement and a functional requirement?
So business requirement and functional requirement. So first thing is functional requirement. Functional requirement will be, sir, what functionality the client requires from us. Like he would be describing the functionalities, like what business logics would be implemented, what he wants us to do, and business requirement would be that what target audience will be there, what kind of business segment it falls into, and what kind of application we are making on a business perspective, like e-commerce application it is, or what kind of, like what the target audience will be.
Hmm. And once you know the customer
So,
requirement, how would you go about choosing the best design for that meeting those requirements?
so the best design, you are talking about the UI UX design, software design, or the
Total
system
software
design?
design. What all are the
So,
elements of design?
so the in design, first we'll see what kind of software it is. Is it an application or a website? And then the designers will design the software UI UX development using Adobe XD Figma. They'll provide us the wireframes. Then we'll talk to our front end engineers. They'll convert that wireframe into the full front end web application using the modern frameworks like Angular, React. And then we will see what business logics the client is having. Then we'll design our database architecture. So the data models will be designed, database architecture will be designed, and then the front end will be linked to the back end using web services, APIs, RESTful, SOAP, web services. So
Yeah,
that's
all
how.
that you've done, how do you know that this is the best design?
Sir, in that case, we can follow the prototype modeling. Like first, we'll create a prototype, then we will ask the client itself that do you agree with the prototype. Then if he says that he don't agree, then we'll repeat the process. We'll again reevaluate what necessary requirements need to be done. Then we'll again redesign the prototype. Then once the client says that okay, he is okay with the prototype, then we'll further move it to the coding and implementation part.
Yeah, but as a software engineer, how do you know a design is the best design?
Sir, if it meets all the requirements what a client needs, or we can also, like we can do the uh, we can provide the software prototype to the end users, like are they okay with it, are they able to whatever the main purpose of the uh, software is the software meeting the purpose. We can discuss with the end users.
Okay. All right, Vivek. So, quick feedback for you. I think your communications is good. You seem to know, since you have worked, you have good knowledge of software development. You know the SDL process, SDLC, and the process of development. And it's good to know that you also know there are three types of user requirements.
Okay. So, my first question is to you that you have any knowledge about HTML5? The basic, what is the basic difference if you have done work in the designing? I think I will know in the designing the HTML and HTML5. What is the basic difference? क्या नए features of HTML5?
Yes, sir. So HTML5 is just an updated version of HTML. So HTML5 contains a few new tags like there is an image mapping tag which we can map an object from the image to any source or link we want to. There is new telephone like input types. New input types are there. Telephone input type is there, and we can also insert date time. We can insert files in our form. So all those kind of like header and footer. So previously we used to create a div, and then inside that we used to create the headers and footer, but now in HTML5 we have the ready to use header and footer tag, as well as we have the nav tag. So these all are major improvements in HTML5 when compared to HTML.
So, HTML5 programs are running all browsers or the updated browser?
No,
HTML5
sir,
programs.
yes, sir. So HTML5 is running on almost all browsers, but there are some browsers which are not compatible. So then the HTML5 few tags will not work, but that are backward compatible with the older versions of the browser. So we can specify the doc type HTML in the front of the HTML page, and almost 90% browsers are working on HTML5.
Okay, Vivek, you have done work in Java, right?
Yes, sir.
In Java backend. So, tell me, what are the in advanced Java? What are the role of the servlet and applet in the advanced Java?
Sir, applet is depreciated. Applet was used earlier, and servlet is currently in use. So with the help of applet, we were able to create GUIs in Java, but using servlet, we are able to create the HTTP servlet. That's kind of a server. So we are able to create a server, and we are able to create a localhost server or a development server, production server on our machine, and then we can fetch the data, whatever RESTful APIs we have created, we can fetch the data using the front end from that server. So using servlet is in like in the back of the memory. Servlet is using the Java X HTTP servlet class to implement all these server related processes. So it contains a HTTP servlet request and HTTP servlet response. So it works on the request response model, which is the three tier model of the MVC.
In applet mode, we can design something new in Java. Which type of tools are used in the applet platform?
Sir, I have not worked with applet, but I do have the knowledge about Swing and like Swing. I have worked with Swing, which was used to create the GUIs. So there we were having like on the NetBeans we use Swing, so we were having the drag and drop feature. From that, we used to create the design part, and then we just used to create all the backend processes like double clicking on the button, adding the business logic, what this button will do. So that was basic desktop applications kind of thing. That was not a website. So applet and Swing was used to create the desktop applications. I have not worked with applets as such.
Okay, the next question is what are the exceptions? What is the difference, the error and exception? I think both are the same, but technically the exception is different from the error. So
Yes,
what is exceptions and how to remove exception in the programming concept? How to
so
handle the
exceptions
exceptions?
can be, yes, sir. So exceptions can be of two types, like checked exceptions and unchecked exceptions. So there is two type of environment. First is runtime and second is compile time. So compile time is the time when we write the code and then we get some error at the compilation. So that is the compile time error. And then runtime errors are
Which type of error?
compile time error.
Okay, compile.
So syntactical error can be a compile type error. Like we have written int a, then int a comma b, instead of int a comma b we have written int a space b. So that's a type of syntactical error. The compiler will show the red line, and then uh, we can fix that error at the time of compilation. And then once our Java code is compiled and it is sent to the JVM for run, the runtime. So at the runtime, there are some kind of errors which are not catched by the compiler at the compilation time.
You can create your own exceptions?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We can create our own exceptions.
How to create?
Sir, to create an exception, we use the throw. We have created exception. So using the we have to extend the exception class in Java. I don't remember clearly, but I have created an exception. So I don't remember clearly, but we use the exception class, and then we use the throws method that was used to throw a specific type of exception, and then we used to handle the try catch block.
Okay, you have done many projects in the Java. So how to estimate your cost in your working project? Do you have any idea? अगर आपको कोई प्रोजेक्ट बनाना है
cost estimation,
उसकी cost हाँ कैसे करेगा? It's a major part of the development,
yes, sir.
right? Right?
Yes,
cost
sir.
estimation कैसे करेगा?
Cost estimation can be done using there is a SEL process is given, SEL cost estimation methodology is given, even the WX that Winstall and Felix method is also there. So there we use the single variable cost estimation method, where we are having the formula C is ALB, where L is line of code, C stands for cost, and then SEL and other Wilson Felix has given some constants. So using that, we can estimate the cost. We can also estimate the efforts, and we can also estimate the line of code if we are given the efforts, and also we can estimate the development time. And another model is Kokomo model, which is very famous for measuring the estimation of the cost. Yes, sir.
Tell me something about you in brief so that I can understand. I could not hear your whole conversation.
Sir, my name is Vivek Patidar. I am from Ratlam, Madhya Pradesh. I have done my schooling from Ratlam. After my 12th, I have done my bachelor's in computer applications from Jaipur, Rajasthan, from Purnima University. And after my graduation, I have worked as an associate analyst in Deloitte, Bangalore for a year. And after my work, I am currently pursuing my master's in computer applications from Gitanjali Institute, Udaipur. And
so
I am interested in programming. I am seeking
Deloitte, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So why you left Deloitte and came for MCA?
Sir, the major reason was because of my degree. So since I was a bachelor's in computer application, and I was selected as an associate analyst. So in order to jump to the just next position as an analyst, I had to wait around 2.5 to 3.5 years, and then I will be promoted. But the BTech student is directly got into analyst position. And the project in which I was working, so with me, a BTech holder was also working, MBA holder was also working, and we were on the same project. So there, somewhere I found that there is a little degree, we can say like they prefer BTech students and MCA students. That's why I chose to do a regular MCA, and then I will again go into the industry.
Okay. So the Deloitte people will again entertain you after you do your MCA and then go for PCM job.
Yes, sir. I have I had a talk with them. So they told us that is there any probability that you will join again? So I told them, yes, definitely. I will be seeking a job, especially in Deloitte, because the culture is very good. The work-life balance is really good, and it is a big four. So that's why after MCA, I'm seeking a job in Deloitte as well as other companies.
Okay. So what is good about Deloitte?
Sir, the work culture, I would say, is the best thing in Deloitte, because there is
what are the parameters? What are the parameters by which we can judge that the work culture is good?
Sir, on weekends, like our managers used to, when we used to do extra work on weekends, so they used to say that little bit work will be okay, but you should enjoy your weekend. And then we used to get the paid leaves, PL, without any hesitation. Like managers were not like they will hesitate to give us the paid leave. Even for 3 to 4 days, I was on leave. Sometimes, if it is an emergency. And then the working hours were very good. Like in our project, the working hours from 1 to 11. So maximum it can go from 1 to 12, but not more than 12. So that was the best thing. The work culture was good, and I was initially I was doing work from home, so I was having network issues. So they were very understanding. They were they were understanding, and they were supporting me. At many times, I was not having network for around 2 to 3 hours. My connection was not working. So they were always supportive. So, and one more thing, sir, there is no rule to say sir to seniors. Everyone would call each other by their name. So that way work culture was good.
Okay, if somebody is saying sir to the seniors, then the work culture is not good.
No, sir, that is a really good thing to say sir, because it gives a respect, a sense of respect. But calling by name is like we are working together, so we can frankly, I will not be hesitated, because there comes a hesitation between senior and junior. But when you're working together, sometimes you have to connect with each other. You have to share things, what problems you are facing, what the client requirement is. So that's way that thing is good.
So, for example, if you feel that the calling as a sir is not a right one, and some companies they are working as a friend and nobody is speak these kind of sir and madam words, right? So that is all about respect. When we are giving a respect to our parents, just like saying mama and papa and mother and father and these all acronyms. So why not this kind of culture is being seen in the family if it is really good?
Yes, sir. No, so actually the problem, like I'll not say problem, the idea came from Western culture, because in US, like the Deloitte is US side, our office was also US office of India. So that way the Western culture was there. So our clients the clients were from US. So that way the Western culture they used to follow. Deloitte people used to follow. But I am okay with both of the acronyms, also sir also, and that's good. But I personally believe sir is also good. Like,
what about your technical knowledge? In which field you are good when we talk about the programming and coding knowledge?
Yes, sir. Sir, I am good at coding. I used to do problem solving. I'm good at problem solving. I had mathematics as my subject in 12th, so I'm pretty good at problem solving using mathematics. And also, I'm good at technical field like development, so front-end development, back-end development. Also, currently, I'm trying my hands-on big data. So I also want to try my hands-on big data, because the emerging technologies, there are the problems like big data is an emerging technology where the data is in thousands of GBs, TBs. So that excites me more. So, and I have my hands-on Android development, web development, backend development, and in Deloitte I have worked on 2 projects. One was non-technical, so that was based on Epic systems, EHR, and another was technical project based on Java backend.
Okay. And what is your aim, Vivek?
Sir, my aim is to, I see, if we talk about short-term aim, so I see myself creating an impact basically in the society with the help of a company which aligns with my, which aligns with my aim. And then after 5 years, I see myself at a good position in a good company, same creating the impact. So I feel like software engineers creates an impact on people's life, whether people know it or not, but we do create an impact.
So do you feel that experience, because you have the experience with Deloitte, the experience helps the candidate coming from graduate to postgraduate degree and when they are sitting for the campus interview?
Yes, sir. Experience do help, because if I talk about the HR or any person who is doing my interview, so I can clearly say that since I have worked on the first project I have worked on was on a tight schedule, because it was a project of US government. So it was really tight schedule. So that way my time management skills got improved. So that way experience is always better. So.
Okay. Okay, Vivek. Nice talking to you. Right, you seems nice candidate and you have some exposure also that is definitely going to help. And sometimes we have to give answer in such a way that the interviewer cannot get the ideas to ask any double questions or double cross questions kind of things, right? It all depends. Otherwise, it's good, right? You seems by dressing also it is better. And you have some exposure that is also it is being seen in the interview. Okay.
Thank you.